chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
Right now, number one, this is his generation, this is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has officially shared his plans for a comeback in 2026. He confirmed that his first appearance will be this year in a much-talked-about exhibition fight with Mike Tyson. However, the bigger news is that once the Tyson match is done, he is preparing for a possible professional fight against Terence Crawford. Mayweather explained that discussions are underway for a fully sanctioned bout and stressed that he and his team are putting in serious effort to finalize his official return.
You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
When fans discuss dream fights in boxing, the name that always stands out is Floyd Mayweather. Even after retirement, his impact still looms large, and debates about how he would fare against today's champions continue non-stop. Recently, Robert Garcia gave his take on the idea of Mayweather fighting Terence Crawford. He pointed out that while Mayweather's record is full of unmatched achievements, he never became an undisputed champion like Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. Still, Garcia admitted that his respect for Mayweather's skill and presence makes him believe Floyd would likely come out on top if that fantasy fight ever happened.
He doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed. Is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more than Pacquiao was 8 division, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Robert Garcia made it clear that Terence Crawford has achieved something Mayweather never did, unifying every belt in a single division. He also mentioned that Manny Pacquiao earned recognition by collecting major titles across multiple weight classes. According to Garcia, this is the one area where Mayweather's record seems incomplete. Floyd stayed undefeated, dominated opponents, and built a legendary resume but never claimed undisputed status. Garcia stressed that this doesn't take away from Floyd's greatness, but it shows why Crawford is considered one of the most complete fighters today. Even so, Garcia said his experience in boxing makes him favor Mayweather in a head-to-head matchup, pointing to Floyd's unmatched defense, sharp timing, and high ring IQ.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all this new things going on. I think it's going to be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Adito pointed out that Floyd Mayweather's legacy has 2 distinct sides, both equally legendary. First, there was Pretty Boy Floyd, the young, fearless fighter who impressed fans with speed, aggression, and sharp combinations. Then came Money Mayweather, the defensive master businessman and pay-per-view superstar who built boxing's biggest empire. Olau called Floyd a genius for shaping not only his style in the ring, but also his public image, giving each version its own unique presence. Pretty Boy won fans by taking risks and scoring knockouts, while Money Mayweather drew massive audiences with strategy, defense, and global entertainment. Together, these 2 eras created a legacy that goes beyond fighting, making Floyd both a boxing icon and a pioneer of the sport's modern business model.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, all right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fighting, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fights, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was, look, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Zab Judah, who once fought Floyd Mayweather, did not hold back in calling Terence Crawford the top fighter of this generation. He explained that every era has its star, and right now Crawford is the one carrying that role. Judah reminded fans that even Canelo Alvarez once suggested Crawford might be better than Floyd and said those comments should be taken seriously. In his view, Crawford has already proven himself by dominating elite opponents in multiple weight classes with a complete style that no one has been able to crack. Judah showed respect for Floyd's legacy, but made it clear that today's spotlight belongs to Crawford. He added that comparing fighters from different eras is natural, but insisted Crawford deserves recognition as the #1 boxer of this time.
His generation, his timeline, he is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know. I think
Too early?
rematch.
You'd like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematch always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah.
I
think
so too. Yeah, I think so.
Breadman Edwards took a different stance by dismissing the idea of Floyd Mayweather facing Terence Crawford. He argued that the matchup feels unnecessary since Crawford should be allowed to enjoy his current success without constant comparisons to past legends. Edwards suggested that if Floyd wanted a crossover attraction, a fight with Roy Jones Jr. would make more sense because of the names and the interest it would spark. In his view, Crawford is in his prime and should be celebrated for what he is achieving right now instead of being pulled into fantasy scenarios. He stressed that linking him with Floyd not only takes away from Bud's moment, but also shifts focus from the true impact of his accomplishments. For Edwards, boxing should move on from impossible matchups and recognize Crawford as the defining figure of this era.
Two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win. But if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as that's 50-50, man, I don't know? Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, and make up something just to... I got my opinion on, how the fights would go, and, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. Unfortunately, they didn't fight. They could have made, they kind of two different eras though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So, It didn't happen, and we gotta just live.
Sean Porter reacted to the unusual announcement of Floyd Mayweather facing Mike Tyson by calling it more of a street fight than a real boxing match. He said there is genuine bad blood between the two, with old grudges still lingering, and that could make things very personal. Because of this, Porter doubted that any boxing commission would officially approve the fight. He admitted the matchup would create buzz, but warned it might also cross boundaries the sport should avoid. In his view, the risk of chaos is greater than the hype, which makes him doubt it will ever take place in a proper ring. Other analysts also criticize the growing wave of exhibition fights featuring legends like Floyd Tyson and even Jake Paul, arguing that these spectacles are more about big names and attention than true competition.
This one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? Obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously, there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable, but it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring. It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
You think falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet.
Many observers noted that fans have not really enjoyed Jake Paul's fights and questioned why boxing keeps relying on retired legends instead of building up today's stars. To them, this shows a weakness in the current generation, since they have struggled to grab mainstream attention on their own. Analysts warned that if this trend continues, the sport could become too dependent on nostalgia and drift further away from its foundation of real competitive boxing.
No, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta's a sitting champion. At least these two are retired, but this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that. It is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this and Jake and Gervonta is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that now. Because yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not to engage with him. But Jake, not engaging with him, just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight, because clearly Mike is not the same, and clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put him away.
Joe Rogan shared his view by focusing on the personal tension between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. He explained that Floyd has disliked Mike since the early days, and the grudge could show up if they ever meet in the ring. Rogan suggested fans might not see Floyd's usual defensive style in this matchup. Instead, he believes Floyd could actually push for a knockout to finally settle the rivalry. While Floyd hasn't chased knockouts in the later part of his career, Rogan stressed that real animosity can change a fighter's mindset. For him, the idea of Floyd stepping out of his cautious approach to make a statement against Mike is what makes the possibility so fascinating, even if it may never happen.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah.
Working. I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements. Really? If there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really... Could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still. At 50 years old, he's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
Old as fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins
49.
was still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though. With this. Because he was active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's got Gomez on the ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Fighting the
that's
exhibition.
It's just money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird,
Yeah, it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's, you know, but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis.
There's a reason it says exhibition.
If I had a guess. Yeah. The event itself would be a world-class venue, be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course.
Because
they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who wants to fight an alligator?
Ariel Helwani wrapped up the debate with a practical outlook, saying the Floyd versus Mike fight is unlikely to happen as an official contest. He noted that most insiders see it as nothing more than an exhibition meant for entertainment and money. More importantly, Helwani pointed out that many believe it could serve as a warm-up before Floyd's possible professional fight with Terence Crawford. By calling the Tyson bout a sideshow, he shifted focus back to the real possibility of Floyd returning to sanctioned competition. In his view, the exhibition is simply a placeholder to create hype while talks for a Crawford matchup continue.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now. Yeah. I don't think there's interest.
Does it happen, GC?
No.
No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
White House card seems to be happening. I got to eat my curl on that one. It's tough. Tyson Floyd,
no chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans. But also, that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early
Jake
50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't
Against
do it
the
anymore.
guy around his size, too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but...
So
No, not as small as Floyd, though.
Yeah, Roy fought at heavyweight at one time.
Yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. It was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but, we were still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic, it was Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know, okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean? What's the
two of the greatest boxers ever to fight each other.
I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same, vast reach that
was a
Jake
big
Paul
deal.
versus.
That wraps up today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for the next one.